Welcome to the second recap of Session 9 of Campaign 4. The last one was lost to time. Don't worry about it. It's fine. The previous session, we ended in a truffle cave that we needed to go to collect some spores to get a cure for a curse that Cyrus, the forge cleric dwarf, and Durian, the barbarian orc, was currently embedded into their chests, where if they took an action or a bonus action, they would be hurt by 1 hit point, which isn't a whole lot, but does add up over time. We went to a tavern to go investigate some leads about a missing commander of the ATK, Kevin, who we all know and love. But secondarily, we were also there for the Truffle Cave. We got there. Um, you know, Scuzz shot first and killed or hurt and maimed a couple of the truffles, and I finished off two of them, little small guys. And then they started pleading for us to not kill them and threw telepathic spores to Durian specifically. So I spent 2 inspirations to go ahead and plead for them to stop the fighting, or else we're going to have to kill them all. And they said they would do it if we were to fend off the sea people who come there at night to go eat them. And being sympathetic that I've already killed two of them, I agreed to do so, and I got the party to agree to do it as well. And we set up shop at their little cave. We went ahead and made some traps using Cyrus's Forge Cleric abilities to make 4 bear traps, to which then we set up along the bank of the little river that they would swim through to get into the cave. And we also pushed a boulder into the river so they would have to, get out. They can't swim all the way up. Combat ensued after a long period of waiting, and they showed up. A couple of little guys got stuck in some bear traps. A priestess of the sea people who could cast magic got on top of the boulder and was casting a spiritual weapon spell and a guiding bolt. And another one showed up as well. I don't think either of them really got any of their guiding bolts off. I don't think either of them hit because they're all directed towards Cyrus, who has very high AC. But regardless, we unintentionally knocked out one of them, one of the priestesses, and then we intentionally knocked out the other priestess. And seeing this, all the little guys started to swim away and run, meaning that we didn't kill any of them, which was helpful for this next bit because we tied them up and interrogated them when they woke up through the help of the telepathic spores that the Truffles had, and Desperado was using that as a middleman to negotiate a peace, or you say peace in quotation marks because he was more he was threatening them, saying if any of the Truffles were dead, that they would go and wipe out all the sea people, and that's no good for anybody. So they said, "Uh-huh, we won't do that." Agreed. They didn't say that. They nodded and gestured wildly and swam away with their lives. We then proceeded to build a little grate. I say we, Cyrus did it, of course, because he's a forge cleric. Build a metal grate, installed where they came in through, to keep them from, doing that even against our agreement. And then for the next day or so, because these spores are very delicate, Scuzz, with his woodworking tools and lots of expertise, being an artificer, gracefully extracted these spores to then use and providing materials for the cure that Sokel, a cleric of Therzessa, who initially led us to this cave, would need. We rest there. We go out. We head back to Riverside, unaccosted. We find Sokel. We give her the spores that we harvested. We also told her some details about Kevin. She paid us 60 gold because we didn't, agree on payment or even talked about before we left, which is very good for her, very good of her as well. And then we all took a little rest stop in the tavern, the Black Onyx. And then Sokel came in, gave us our cure for Cyrus and Durian, which they drank greedily. It was very nasty spores. Would not recommend based on the taste. And then proceeded to have a drinking contest where the Forge Cleric Dwarf, the very tall berserker barbarian orc, and the lithe elven paladin with no con score won. He won against an orc and a dwarf, which I don't know why that makes sense, but it did. And then he proceeded to have a impromptu dance party and singing session with all the other elves and people who could understand it, singing about old folk songs to raise the spirits of everybody in the tavern. And then after being cured and having a nice little dance party, we leveled up and then the session ended. That was a recap, the second one. of session 9 of campaign 4. Goodbye.